Vincent Kennedy McMahon, owner of the World Wrestling Federation, was looking to create a big splash in not only the world of professional wrestling, but entertainment as a whole. He wanted to create something new, something huge. A Super Bowl-like event, but for professional wrestling. The WWF had many popular wrestlers in the 1980s, such as Macho Man, The Ultimate Warrior, Andre the Giant, and none other than Hulk Hogan. Although these were big names in professional wrestling, if Vince wanted to create something as big as the Super Bowl, he'd have to start looking outside of his own company. In came celebrities like Cyndi Lauper, Mr. T, and Muhammad Ali. In 1985, it was all or nothing. If this event failed, the WWF would fail with it. On March 31st, 1985, emanating from Madison Square Garden, the WWF would hold a show that would change the landscape of not just wrestling, but live entertainment.
Welcome everyone, the World Wrestling Federation presents WrestleMania.
And welcome to WrestleMania 3!
With over 60,000 fans, we welcome you to WrestleMania 17!
A record crowd of over 100,000 for WrestleMania.
Vince McMahon's gamble had paid off bigger than anyone could ever imagine. From that point forward, every single year, the WWF, now the WWE, would host WrestleMania, an event that was sometimes bigger than the company itself. It's a night where wrestling fans all over the world would fly in to attend or sit around in big groups in the comfort of their own homes. WrestleMania would host record-breaking crowds such as WrestleMania 31 with over 76,000 in attendance, WrestleMania 3 with over 93,000, and the biggest of all, WrestleMania 32 with over 100,000 fans in attendance at the AT&T Stadium. But there was one world event that would change WrestleMania forever. An event that caused WrestleMania 36 to be held with 0 fans in attendance.
We have therefore made the assessment that COVID-19 can be characterized as a pandemic.
The pandemic impacted how the world worked, and WWE wasn't any different. The pandemic forced the WWE to host their weekly events in their performance center, a facility meant to train up-and-coming wrestlers. Since they were forced to have an event with no fans, this meant they could experiment with new ideas. Wrestling matches are usually live, and the wrestlers play into the crowds. But with no crowds, this meant silence was a bit awkward. So what did WWE do to combat this? Cinematic matches. Matches like the Boneyard match and the Firefly Funhouse match were WWE's early attempts to experiment with the cards they were dealt with. However, that wasn't the biggest change WWE made to WrestleMania, as cinematic matches are no longer a thing with fans back in arenas. What did stick, however, making WrestleMania a 2-night event. From the first WrestleMania right up to the pandemic, the event would get bloated, sometimes lasting 7 hours. With the 2-night approach, fans were able to watch just the right amount of wrestling one day and have some more the next day instead of one long night. Once WWE was able to get fans back in stadiums and arenas, WrestleMania stuck with the 2 nights, which made for a better viewing experience. As of 2022, Vince McMahon no longer runs the WWE. Instead, his son-in-law is in charge of storylines, and it has given the WWE a breath of fresh air. The last WrestleMania, held in Philadelphia, was the biggest one ever, and the next year's in Las Vegas is shaping up to be even bigger. There is no underestimating the legacy that this event holds in the world of sports.